when we have our database inscribed inside the server, then we can be able to open up our database depending on the database that you have. Like for this one, we're able to insert the Adventure Works 2022, Adventure Works Data Warehouse 2022, and Adventure Works Lights Warehouse. The warehouse is just the normal system, while the data warehouse is more compact, more heavy, and the light one is very, very light. So all of them is just to be used as a sample, a hypothetical sample to explain how a typical database is and how it works. Now when you look at the other aspect, I can see when you look, you see that this is actually like a minus. By the time you click on it, you see it has closed whatever is inside the database. So the plot will show you that there's something inside that you can still open. I see the same thing on the server, the major server and the express on it. So when I click on the server too, you see everything has entered, has collapsed inside. So opening up, you can see we have databases where databases are housed. You see the security. Remember I told you that structured SQL is basically for it's a kind of a database where we can call up things that have been saved in a structured pattern or in a tabular format. You know, table contains column vertical and row horizontal. So we use that idea to able to work on the databases. You can also see the security because you are working on database. Some of these databases have sensitive information. For instance, if you are working in a bank and the database will include customers name, next of kin, phone number, signature, their what do you call it now, the brief or the consent form. All these are important information. Even the customer's money that is in a bank is also important. So it's not everybody that is working in a bank that have equal level of authorization to all information that pertains to that customer. So that is why security is to have level 1, level 2, as many as a company may wish, as many as an organization may wish. So we have security. Also look at national um, the national voters card. What you only see is true information as compared with all the details that you must have given to the enumerator or the person that is entering the thing into the system when you were entering it. You also look at the national identification card names. When you want to do the national identification card, you give a lot of information, but it's not everything you see on that card. Other things that are vital are also included, but now it is stored in the database against the specific person's name. So that is why we have security. When you open it, you see there is login, there is several credential audit, amongst others. When you open the login, you can see some things that are there. You see authority, authorization is there. You don't just monkey into it. There's a level of things you can be able to do, but most of these are done by database administrators. Database administrators. We as data analysts, we as data scientists, we just need some level of peripheral understanding of how we can be able to go into a database and extract the needed information and use it for our data manipulation or visualization. You can see server role, the role that you put there, definition reader, you manage database performance, and basically what we have data that are having all this is for data integrity, integrity of your data. If your data does not have integrity, it means that you cannot have the same thing at any time that you come. But a data that have integrity, whatever is there, next 7 months it is still there, next 10 years it is still there. Just imagine a university that was opened maybe in 1900, 1900, and they happen to have the list of students over the years, the courses the students offered, the classes they stay, the number of students, the name of the teacher, their scores, and up to today, 2024, you discover that it is a place that have rich database. You can actually call up a data and compare it with another year, and you can able to make some kind of a comparison or juxtaposition because the data is well stored and well preserved, and it is not having any kind of negative tendency. Now, coming back to what we are doing, this is a database. When you want to enter a data, you go to what we call the new query. You want to bring up a query. When you click on the query, for instance, when you click on the query, you discover that it's coming up. You see a canvas or a platform is open, and when you look, I see SQL query 2, and it has the name of the server. This is the query 1. That means a work that had been done before is here. If I click on it, you can, if there was nothing done there, you see it like, but if something has been done, you will see it too. And the number is 52, 53. That is how it continues to be kept. So when you have this now, that means you are ready to work. And once this have come up, you see that this place that used to be dull has become bright, and it's showing you master. Master is by default how the database that is stored or it came with. But modern ones like 2022, 2024, 2023 editions don't have this. They just go straight to the database which you have stored. So, but if I want to work, for instance, here, I will not just go to the master, because if you go to the master, most of your results or all your results will not be correct, because they have different syntax expectation. Syntax means how you write, what starts and what ends your write-up. So when you want to do, you see we have databases here, AdventureWorks, about 3 of them, different types. You come here and click on this arrow. You see we have those AdventureWorks here. We have, this is Gate, my database I worked on, master, model, all these are database. But you can pick, maybe we pick the first one, data AdventureWorks. See, it has now come up here. It means that you can now be able to query the data that is reflecting this year. And when you now want to query, you come here at the where the database are located. You go to the one you are working with, 2022. Click on the plus arrow. It will open up. When it open up, you see that there's other important things that you need to see there. It's a database diagram, there's tables, there's view, external resource, and programmability. These are all there, but it's not all of them that we need for our work. What we need is the table. Remember I said that your database is giving us what we want because of relationship. And the relationship talks about table that have rows and column. That is one thing you should know. Tables that have rows and column. Now we are seeing a table. Now if we have seen a table, we can now open up, expand this table. What does this table contain? You can see that the table contains information about what is transpiring in a given organization. This is information all around. You have system table, file table, external table, but leaving those ones, we come straight to what we have here. We can see we have human resource department, human resource employee. Now you can know that human resources is talking about things that have to do with human being and what is equipping them. And this one, human resources, is under department. It's looking at it from the perspective of department. The next one you see, we have human resources from the perspective of employee, people that are employed in a system. Employee department history, employee pay history, job candidate, shift. All these are human resources. Like in the case of shift, you can know who was shifted, who had a shift date, and who did not come. Everything has to do with who's supposed to be where at what time is addressed there. After that, you see the next one is person. You see we have person, and this person here, the first one for the person, well, a lot of them are under person, but the person again is further categorized to address the address type, business entity. Like in Nigeria, we know we have self-employed, we have partnership, we have corporation. Is kind of what they're asking here. The entity address, where is the headquarter or where is it located, the contact number, the contact type, the country region, which country is it, email address, password. All these things have to do with just person. Then when you go down again after person, you see the next thing, production, bill of material that was used to make procurement, the culture of the people working, because this is very, very important. For instance, the Muslim, for instance, we always observe their prayer time. And if those prayer time must be observed, it means that it is taken from the man hour. So those culture are also part of what, or people that don't work on certain days, or people that when they lose their members of the family or relation, they don't come to work for 4 days. It's part of the culture that had to be captured. We know how we are losing manpower, for instance. So you can see you have production, culture, document, illustration, location, maybe where the plants are located, the product itself, what is the final outcome, product category, their cost history, description of the product, document, inventory, you are counting to see what you have in stock, product list price history, product model, and many other under production. When you finish on production, you now go to another aspect, which is purchasing. You see purchasing, product vendor, purchase order header, ship model, purchase vendor. After purchase, you now go to the next one, which is sales. You go to sales. You see we have different sales customer, currency rate, sales order detail. These are important information that are well segregated. So you see how about 4 different compartments are there and all have importance. So this is where we now look for our column. For instance, if I open up the let's say the person, country, region, for instance, and I open it up as an example, we will see that it has column, it has key, constraint, triggers, index, statistics. Remember that some of these are part of the function of the work of what the database administrator. So what concerns us more is look at the column. The column will give us information about how many columns do we have there. We have country, region code, we have name, and we have modified date. That is the 3. Let's open up this column for key. You see we have the key, and this key is the primary key because it's black. Secondary key is not black. Now what is a primary key? The primary key is a key or a code that is very, very unique. Remember I was talking about unique in Power BI. Very, very unique to a given table. So this country region code, they have some important information that has to do with it. PK, which is primary key. Anytime you see PK talking about the primary key, then this is N Vasha, which is numeric and Vasha, and it is has 3 letters and it is not null. When you say not null, it means that it must not be empty. Something must be added or there must be something found in it. So these are the character of what you are seeing there. The next one is name. This is another column. Now the name is the name of the country that we are going to display, and that name has also a name character, and it is not more than 50 in character, and it is not null. Now we have modified date. Now this date, you see it has its own logo, key has its own logo. We are going to see other. So modified date, we can have date time, and it is also not going to be null. So for instance, once, okay, let us see, get to see this on our table here. So what do? I can close this one up and reduce this a bit. As I'll be touching a lot of things before we go to the proper work. This is just like introduction for you to know what we are doing. So we have already opened our query. So you come here and write and click on the new query. Okay, this is new query here already. We have already clicked on new query before. So I will now go and write on the new query. Now we want to work on this. You write select. Now also know that SQL does not select whether it's capital or small letter, but for convention's sake, because it has convention, we'll write it with capital letter. Say select, and they want you see as I write it now, there's something like a spiral red by the edge. It means that this work is not complete until it is you are no more seeing anything there. That means your work is already having problem. The syntax has issue. So we are selecting. Now we want to look at what is it that is in this one that we just touched. Now where is it again? Can't remember. Okay, person, country, region. Now you want to select everything. You put select star. When you put select star, what are you picking? You are picking person, country, region. So you type it. Person, dot country region. Alternatively, you can go direct to where you want to work. This is where I want to work. I can control copy it and bring it here and control V. So when you have this, let's country region. Please say incorrect syntax. Let's see if shift it a bit. Okay, now okay, so why you are seeing that red was that I selected all showing this asterisk, but I didn't tell the system where I am selecting from. That is why the syntax was wrong. So once I go ahead and do what and indicate where it's coming from, the system became okay. And in a kind of the convention, you can also maybe break it down from person. Now this is just the two that we want to see for now. So when you have selected this, so I want to see everything that is in this table, person, country, region. So you will now go to execute and click on execute. Now once you have clicked on execute, it's sure that when you look down, you see what query executed successfully. desktop, your SQL Express is also shown, and your desktop name is shown. The server database you use, in case maybe you want to do a printout, all these things are going to follow you, and the time it took, and the numbers of rows. This is a convention. You can also come down to see what was selected. You can see we have the country code CN, China, CO, Colombia, CR, Costa Rica, CL, Chile, and you can see the modified date. And you can see the heading. This is the column, the country code, region code. You see the name, and you see the modified date. So this is how you can be able to call up this in order for you to query the data, because you are picking everything. Now, going further, you can see that sometimes we want to maybe explain what and what that we did. We want to explain what and what that we did, because after 1 month, after 2 months, after 6 months, you come back to your work, you will not remember what actually you did. So you can come and decide to do what? Put up a, you can put up a note. So how do you put up the note? You can come and put um or you can come here, say work done in a haste, for instance. When you have done this, it will show you as if it's a code. But when you now put up this double hash, you can see that it has turned green. So the system is no more seeing it as a code, but just like a markdown. Markdown is something that you write that does not work, it doesn't follow the code to run. So it can remain there. It doesn't have to do anything, it doesn't have anything to relate with your work. And you can also come here and remove this markdown here, or you can come here and add this markdown here. If you don't want to use your hand to write it, all of them will still give you the same answer. So this is how you can be able to do this. Now, some of you be wondering how we're able to get my own having number. That I will teach you, but not in this class. I also want to um, show you this too. You can take this to bring back your work, the last work that you did, maybe, or your last step. You can always use it to do your last step. Just like other tools that we have used, there's nothing too different from it here. So we can also maybe use this for another query, and we'll say, okay, let's go to the one that has maybe much things like product subcategory. We'll come here and we'll do what? You see, one time you come, you see master will come up. So you come there and change. But assuming you did not change this master and you continue to work, see what will happen. You say select, you are still selecting everything. Select, you're selecting all, and you're selecting it from which table. You want to select from product subcategory. So I can go here and copy product subcategory and paste here. Now I expected that since my code is correct, that this product will be showing will not be showing red line, but it is showing me red line. And the simple reason is what? The master base is what I am using, and that is not the right base to use. That is why it's showing the red line. So what I will do, I will simply do what? Come here and click on Adventure Works 2022. What I've done, that you see that that red line has cleared, showing you that the code can be run. So you now go ahead to do what? To execute. So when you click on execute, you see your results. It is showing you your product subcategory ID, which is the relationship, and it's also showing you product ID. You have name, you have the row guide, or the your road ID, modified date. It show you the number of row, 37 row, time it took for this to run. This is so because there's some that can take much more time. So it's telling you that this one doesn't have much, so it took lesser time to work. So we can also look at this work here to get some other information. One of the information is that why do we have two keys? We have product subcategory ID is a key, or also have product category ID is a key. So we open up our column. If you open the key 2, you see your 2 ID. See product subcategory ID. This is the primary key. Product subcategory. You can still expand this to read it very well. Which is product subcategory key. This one is the primary key. And I explain why do we call it primary key. This is a unique key that is only common to this particular table. It can be found in another table, but it is no more a primary key in that table. All it can be is a foreign key. Now look at the second one. You can see that the key position is different and the colors are also different. This is F key. This is secondary key. It is not the primary key, but it's a key. Just look at a house. You have a house and you have the keys of your house, or even you have your car key and you have your house key. In the car, you can have some of your house key also in the car key, but in the car, the primary key that functions for you is what? Is the car key. Even though your house key are there, your house key cannot function until you get to the house. So in the car, the primary key is what? The car key. The same key, bunch of key you are having, when you bring it home and you want to open your house, even though you have the car key there, the car key is not more the important key there, but it's a key that is also useful to you. The primary key of the bunch now becomes what? The house key, or even the main room's key. So that is how it functions here. You see keys that are there, but they are secondary key, which are very, very important to another table, but they can be found in a different table. That is what you are seeing here. So the primary key always or normally are put first before other keys are also aligned. So that is all about it. So let's open the column. You can see that we have 2 keys and we have 3 columns, making 5 rolling column of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so having gotten that, let us take one more table and tell us it is not all the time that we always pick everything. Peradventure, we are not interested in every detail in a given table. What do we do? Now, if we have such, we are going to do what? Let's open up a new query. So we have a new query here. And you should also know how to save your work. Outside of keeping your new query, you can also save so that you can come back to your work later. So we'll come here. I will write select. Now, what are we selecting? We want to select some items. Now let's close this and go through our work. What can we pick here that's of interest to us? Now can able to get some important details. Okay, let's go for instance to um, sales order detail. For instance, this is where we're interested in. Let's open it up and see what is there in our sales order detail. We have our primary key. We have two primary keys here. We have sales order as a primary key. And we have sales order detail. So you see that here we have two primary key. These two primary key are very, very essential for this particular table. But we also have secondary keys, and they are there, but they're not too important to this table. You can see them FK, FK. For this sales order table, for this sales order detail is the basic primary key because it doesn't have another key, but sales order is showing primary key and secondary key at the same time. Maybe that is why it is mostly put on the top, but that is not our interest. We want to see what can we pick up from here that we can put so that we don't select everything. When we look, you see have sales order ID, we have sales order detail, we have carrier tracking number, we have order quantity, we have product ID, about we have about almost 10 or 12 items. Okay, now say we don't want everything, but first of all, let's start by picking everything, then we'll now remove it and do by picking few. So if you want to pick everything again, remember what we do here. We put our asterisk. I mean, we are selecting all. The next question is where are we selecting from? And we are selecting from where? From this table, sales order detail. We copy it. And sometimes your own may not be able to copy like this, but it will be showing you IntelliSense. As you type it to come up, we can also activate IntelliSense here. I will show you that later if we have the time today. So we'll now Control V and see that our um our work is okay. There's no any red anywhere showing us that we need to make some adjustment. So if I go now and execute, you see that we'll have our query was executed successfully and it took 2 seconds. I can see we have 121,317 rows that are there. But sales order is there, sales order ID is there, carrier tracking, order quantity, product ID, amongst others. These are there. Now let's say we want to pick some of this. We can do that by removing this. When we remove this, what is it that we want to select? That is the next question. Okay, we want to select sales order ID. We can okay, it's not copying here. So since it's not copy, we can come here and pick our copy it from here. Sales order ID. We copy. We put here. We put a comma. What else do we want again? One quantity, other quantity will come here. We copy other quantity and we fix it here. Maybe we pick one more thing, unit price. We come again, pick unit price, copy it, put our comma and fix it. Maybe one more thing, what else again can be useful to us? Line total. Okay, let's leave it as this. This ones we have just picked, and you can see that there's no red line to show that the work is not correct. So I can maybe break it down select order quantity, unit price, and then can even bring this select down. This says as you wish. So we are selecting in this table, we're just selecting the sales order ID, we are selecting the order quantity, and we're selecting the unit price, and we are bringing them from sales order. And now we now go ahead to execute. So when we execute, you only see the ones that we selected and not everything. So you can see that all that was being displayed here is just the sales order ID, the order quantity, and the unit price. And this is the time it took to select, and you have the same numbers of row. So this is how we can also be able to select not all. Can select not all, and you see arrive at your answer. So I think I'm going to stop here today so that you can be able to digest what we have done, because we are getting a higher understanding of what we are doing. We'll begin to go more deeper into the work. Thank you very much for today. See you in class in 2 days time.